Flock cameras are even worse than I realized. I have deep dived it even further. I'm going to present stuff to y'all that I'm going to say, without being hyperbolic, is bone chilling. It's Tinfoil Tuesday.
So if you like exposing truth and dropping truth bombs, then welcome to Tinfoil Tuesday.
I want the truth!
Well, a big Shazam to you people. About a month ago, I did this video right here talking about flock cameras. The response was overwhelming. I've done my homework. I've deep dived. It's worse. It's way worse than I had any idea. I'm telling you, I got chills while I was working on this. Today, I'm going to walk through a few stories. I'm going to share with you some of the response from the last video. I'm going to share with you the Supreme Court case on this one, that is huge. And then at the end, stay with me. I have a resource for you that it's going to send you in the right direction to learn a little bit more and expand what we know about this. It's flock cameras. Ain't none of it good. Today's episode is brought to you by the Craftsman Cordless Angle Grinder Toolkit. It's 20 volt, 4.5-inch blade. It has a battery and a charger included in the kit. The link is right down below. It's the Craftsman 20 volt cordless angle grinder toolkit, allowing you to bring change to your community both day and night. You people, thanks for every thumbs up. Appreciate y'all. Oh, Merry Christmas to y'all. We're going to have a lot of fun this week. Tomorrow on Hump Wednesday, big show. I'm telling you, I saw it last night. The Christmas special is really good. It came back from editing last night. It's good. I'm not just saying that because it's me, but it's good. I laughed out loud. So hang around with me all week long. Should have some fun. Let's do some business today. I want to start with a story coming out of Aurora, Colorado. Her name is Brittany Gilliam. I don't know how to pronounce that. Gilliam, I believe. In 2020, she was pulled into a thrift store parking lot with her family. Police pulled up behind her. They yanked her and her family out of the car at gunpoint. At gunpoint, guns pointed at children, laid them on the ground, handcuffs the kids. I've watched the video, I've listened to the audio. The children are screaming, all because they said she was in a stolen vehicle. Guess what? It wasn't stolen. The flock cameras told the police it was a stolen vehicle. Nah, you got it wrong. It was a license plate from a motorcycle from another state, had nothing to do with this lady, Brittany G. And here's the interim police chief at the time, Vanessa Wilson. So they've got some Les in there trying to do a man's job. And she explains it really, really well, how, the cameras really, really work. It ain't good. Flock cameras, A, don't work, and B, there's a myriad of other problems with them. The city has now agreed to a $1.9 million settlement. They're not going to pay jack crap. Taxpayers are going to pay that. The city doesn't have money. The government doesn't have money. So that's one story. There's a lot more out there. Here's what really got me going, and folks were talking about this. The monster, the Aloha snack bar that did what he did at Brown University, a Redditor gave an anonymous tip to the police, and then, this is from the Providence Journal, police told reporters that the Reddit post had led them to look for a gray Nissan, and flock surveillance camera images of the streets in Providence showed a gray Nissan with Florida plates on North Main Street on Friday, December 12th. Now, at this point, you go, hey, that's a monster. He needs to be off the street. I say he needs to be in the wood chipper. That's a separate story. The question is did the police use a warrant to search for him? Folks will say, oh, no, Johnny, it's just looking at license plates. It's not. That is something I didn't chase far enough in the last video. It really prompted me to go deeper on this one. Facial recognition stuff, more on that in just a minute. The comments rolled in on the last video. A lot of them are really, really good. Arlen Burns says, ask your local police. Also, your local police may have a private partnership, that's important, with businesses to use their cameras in an integrated grid network called Virtual Block Watch. You can jump on the internet and learn more about that. But there was also a lot of pushback. Michael, who I imagine is a good dude, like I don't think he's the devil, but he says, my opinion and thoughts only and presented for casual reading. Respectfully, there is no expectation of a right to privacy once you leave your home. All right? Yeah, you think so? It's not a slippery slope on this one. The police cannot, though they legally cannot get into databases and search for you without a warrant. But it turns out, and I read the whole thing, and Michael, I appreciate the comment, but he's a chaplain for a police department, so he's on the side of law enforcement. I'm not against law enforcement, to be clear. If somebody does something horrific, they need to be chased down and put under the jail, to be very clear. But then you have a slippery slope, and none of it is good. One of you people, and I forgot to ask you, Mike, for your permission, so I won't say your last name, but Mike hollered at me this morning. We were talking a little bit, and he says this. Here's the problem. The way they're tied in with AI cameras, this being flock cameras tied in with AI cameras, and places like Walmart, Home Depot, et cetera, use them, and it's all fed into the central software. Pause. My local Lowe's, right here a mile away from me here in Johnson City, my local Lowe's has several flock cameras out there, and I had viewers reach back, and they're like, Johnny, I've got nothing to hide. I've got nothing to hide. That's how we got the Patriot Act. I've got nothing to hide. I'm not a terrorist. I'm not. No. It's for commercial activity, but there's nothing stopping police government from pulling that data for their use. As you can imagine, that's just waiting to be abused. Bought some pipes at Home Depot? Police think you're building pipe bombs and kick in your door. This is how that lady with her kids gets laid on the ground in a parking lot. There's a growing concern. This is from the Virginian pilot, One Nation Under Watch. New brand of largely unregulated mass surveillance is expanding in Virginia. Now, all of this hinges on a case from the Supreme Court. I pulled it. Carpenter versus the United States. The short version is this. It's a landmark United States Supreme Court case concerning the privacy of historical cell site location information. The court held that government entities violate the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution when accessing historical CSLI records containing the physical locations of cell phones without a search warrant. Private companies collect all this data. Back then, it was just cell phone pinging. Eventually, now we're at a place where it's also AI use of facial recognition as well as all sorts of markers on your car. We covered that in the last episode. And folks are pushing back on this, and it will not hold up in court. I'm telling you, if warrantless police officers and investigators use your data in the court, you can take them right back to court, and it can be struck down. This one, I didn't pull where this was from. Super easy to find. Judge rules lawsuit challenging Norfolk's use of flock cameras can proceed. So this guy sued, and the judge said, hey, proceed with the lawsuit. It's not going to hold up. Why? Because of Carpenter versus the United States. This is from the UNC, University of North Carolina School of Law, under surveillance, constitutional concerns surrounding flock cameras. People are talking about this, and this is a major, major problem. Now, I opened with this idea, and then Mike mentioned this in his text to me. We're talking about private businesses here and flock safety. Remember, I covered this last episode. Flock is the brand of camera. It's called Flock Safety. This is from their website. Hey, by the way, automated license plate readers and the Fourth Amendment, a public safety by design perspective. And they're just saying, hey, we don't violate the Fourth Amendment. Also notice they're calling it license plate readers. They are facial recognition with AI that's being fed into private computers and private databases and accessed by police departments and three-letter agencies without warrants. That's the problem. Carpenter versus United States. It will not hold up, yet they're still doing it. Let me ask you a question. Do you really think that the police department had a warrant when they went to look for that dude's car up there? Do you think so? That gray Nissan? You think so? You sure about that? You sure about that? Now, here's where we get into the private sector. This is from this past June. This is also from Flock Safety. Hey, latest news, Flock launches first ever business network to strengthen private sector security collaboration. So private companies are creating databases using Flock cameras, their technology, AI, and facial recognition software. None of it is good. Today's video is to educate us and to talk about it. Let me give you a resource. Her name is Shannon Morse. Her channel is called Morse Code. She has a phenomenal video. It's not long. It's called Flock Safety is a Privacy Nightmare, and it's getting worse. I'll link to that in the description right down below. Check out Shannon's channel. It's a great next step. We need to talk about this. Talk about this in your community, maybe over Christmas break, or when your uncles and your cousins come over and your brothers-in-law. Talk about this with the men. Ladies, I know you're involved in this too, but guys need to be well aware of this and what's going on in their communities. And speaking of communities, today's episode is brought to you by the Craftsman Grinder. Link is right down below. Act accordingly.
Welcome to Tinfoil Tuesday. We hope you sing along.
You want answers? Diabetes.